All right, Josh, I'm doing this in my classroom. This is the most comfortable place for me to do this, but I am going to do my lesson for Module 2 on steps for successful passing out on the roads. Obviously, when you're a driver, new or experienced, and you spend enough time out on the roads, especially interstate and highway driving, you are going to have to be doing some passing. It just becomes part of being a good driver. So today I'm going to talk about the steps for successful passing as a driver. Step number one, first of all, before you make the decision to pass, you want to look around the area, around your car, scan for hazards, looking for oncoming vehicles that are coming up from behind you or to the left when you were going to go over into the passing lane. Again, vehicles approaching from the rear or any merging vehicles. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about with passing is that you have to have an understanding of what types of roads you can and cannot pass on. In West Virginia, we have a little bit of everything. So the first thing is when you're on a 4-lane highway or interstate, in most cases you're going to be able to pass the entire time you're driving. And you will see the broken up dotted lines on each side. Again, those are interstates like Interstate 70, the turnpike that runs through West Virginia, other 2-lane highways that you might be on as well. But in West Virginia, we also have a lot of rural roads. And what I mean by that is you're going to come across 2-lane roads, but that doesn't mean you can't pass. When I come to Charleston, one of the roads that I drive on is actually in Ohio, right across the river, Route 7, or you can go down Route 2 until you get to Parkersburg. But when you're on a 2-lane road, what you're going to look for are the types of lines that you see. If you see 2 solid lines, that means you cannot pass at all. Even if you want to pass, you can't pass. Single or dotted lines means both sides can pass, but most cases you're going to see this. And that is a dotted line on one side and a solid line on the other. And what that means is if it is safe and you have a dotted line on your side, you can pass. But again, you need to emphasize the fact that you need to be safe. So one of the things that I always look for as a driver, I am not going to pass on a 2-lane road unless I'm on a straightaway. You got to give yourself probably at least 100 yards in order to pass someone on a 2-lane road or somebody that's in front of you, because you have to be able to make sure you can maneuver back into the right lane before any oncoming traffic. So one, you need to make sure you're on a straightaway and do not attempt to make these kind of passes when a turn is coming up. That's just very dangerous. And nighttime driving, probably even more so. So again, making sure that you understand when and when you can't pass is a big part of number one. Again, scanning for hazards or knowing what's going on around you. You will see signs like this that say do not pass, especially on these 2-lane roads. And you're going to always use the left lane for passing. Sometimes we call it the acceleration lane. So that's step number one. Next thing we need to do is when you're getting ready to change lanes, you have to make sure, number one, you put your turn signal on. And never rely on your rear view mirror alone. So I'm going to try to simulate the driving seat here with these 2 chairs. Obviously I'm on the left side and I'm in the right lane. And if I'm going to pass in the left-hand lane, the first thing I want to do is put on my turn signal, my left-hand turn signal. I'm looking in my rear view mirror just to see anybody that might be coming up behind me, but what I really need to be looking at is who's going to be coming in the left lane. Do not rely on your rear or your side mirrors, because that blind spot, you won't see them if they're right next to you. I always turn and look out at about a 45-degree angle, and that's where that blind spot is. And I look to see if anybody is there. If there is no one there, again, I have my turn signal on, and I am going to move into So I'm going to signal my intention to pass, and I'm going to accelerate into the left lane, which is always obviously the left lane. Once I get into the passing lane, I want to make sure that I accelerate quickly. But again, I'm not looking to exceed the speed limit, but I need to get up to the speed limit, whatever that is. And I want to make sure I give myself enough time to pass the vehicle that I'm attempting to pass. As I said, on a 2-lane highway, this is not as much of an issue, but again, if you try to pass on a single lane road, which we have a lot of those in West Virginia, you have to make sure you give yourself enough space to accelerate until you see that vehicle that you're passing. You need to see the headlights of that vehicle in your rearview mirror before you even attempt to move back over into the right lane. Again, check that rearview mirror. So again, if I'm back in my car, I am now in the passing lane. I have accelerated. I have passed the car that I'm attempting to pass. I am looking in my rearview mirror for those 2 headlights, which should tell me I have enough space to get back in front, but I'm going to be honest with you, and I would tell my students this, I still use my blind spot even when I'm passing and trying to get back into the right lane. I will look to see where those headlights are, and then I will look to my right to make sure there is enough distance for me to get back into the right lane. And again, I am going to check that blind spot, put my turn signal on, letting them know that I'm going to get back into the right lane ahead of them. So yes, you can use this. You can use this on the opposite side, but I'm gonna check my blind spot no matter what. So again, I'm going to change lanes, move back into the right-hand lane. I want to make sure I'm keeping that, maintaining my speed limit, whether it's 55, whether it's 70, whatever it is, because you have to remember the person that you're passing is going a certain speed. And we know, I'm not going to get into velocity and all that kind of stuff with math, even though I do teach it all the time, but you need to make sure you maintain that velocity at the same time. Once you get back into your lane, the right lane, you are now, again, you should be maintaining your speed and whatever the speed limit is, and you are then going to cancel your turn signal, and that is turn it off, and then you will maintain that speed in the right-hand lane. So those are the steps to being a safe driver and trying to change lanes, whether it be on an interstate highway or even a 2-lane road. Again, I think the key there is to be patient and to be safe, and only change lanes when you know you can do it successfully. Because remember, anytime you go anywhere, getting to your destination safely is the most important thing that you're trying to accomplish. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.